worker,
So this is a training also.
yes, I can review it again as needed. So any worker can at any time ask to review any deadline or frequency of deadlines. Okay, so just to kind of refresh here, let me share my screen because it's always good to have the video with the screen.
Mhm.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
So basically, we're talking about the responsibility training for the deadlines review by frequency. The goals for this is to review if the team has agreement on the deadlines.
Management
The deadlines are working for the team,
responsibility
not the other way
training.
around. And the policy is that we require the team to vote on all deadlines by frequency to address the overwhelming number of deadlines and keep the team in control. And this would take place a minimum every month to review a minimum of one frequency of deadlines. Otherwise, 75% pay stop. So the only thing missing here is the actual deadline itself, which I believe is the full.
Policy.
So like we can easily verify that. So I just go to the list of deadlines. In the leadership, this would be 75% pay stop. And it says
January
we have the
25.
deadlines review by frequency. So it says this the Thursday, Friday closest to the full moon. That's what it says here. Is that correct? So my understanding when we say Thursday, Friday closest to full moon, it's the main session. So this is the main session
Thursday,
closest
Thursday,
full. Okay, and this is
Thursday,
hour 2. Thursday, Friday, Andromeda hour 2 closest to full
Mhm.
moon.
Okay.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Cool. So obviously we would want to do this before the main session, but we can do it and bring the information to the main session, review the deadlines at the main session, and then we've done.
Time to stretch. Please stop, stand up, and stretch and move around for 30 seconds.
All right, stretch.
Straight.
All right. So any questions so far? Otherwise, I was going to go into the steps.
No questions so far. How about you?
Getting the deadline. And no question. Any worker can ask anything else in the deadline. Yes.
You have questions, Sandy?
No. I said no questions.
I think it's also good to mention here as another detail that
The
that
frequency.
any time the team can vote to change, postpone, or remove a deadline, there is no need to wait until deadline frequency. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like changing and deciding on deadlines has nothing to do with the actual review of the deadlines by frequency. They're totally separate. That make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So the primary difference is that anytime the team wants to review or change a deadline, we can do that specific deadline. Whereas when you're doing the frequency review, the entire frequency can be blocked, right? So
Mm-hmm.
the outcome of deadline frequency review is that you're going to choose a frequency, and then you're going to then you can vote on whether yes, we agree to keep all deadlines or to block and not move forward, right? Forward, which would keep us on 75% pay stop, or to change and evolve the deadline. Okay, so basically this allows us to block the whole entire process. Um, which is very, very empowering. Okay. So let's go through the steps, shall we?
Okay.
Yes.
Any other questions before we go into the steps?
Time to pause. Please stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
So,
So
Jay, if we vote to yes, if you vote yes and we keep all the deadlines, or not to move forward, this is 75% pay stop. We will stay on 75% pay stop, right?
yeah, so everybody, so let's say we choose monthly deadlines, right? So these are the deadlines that are happen every month, which includes this deadline. So every month we're required to do a review of all of our deadlines, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
we would look at all of the deadlines that happen every month, and then as a team we would vote. And so we would all vote, do we want to continue the existing monthly deadlines? Do we agree that the monthly deadlines are correct? Right? That they all that make sense, that they are reasonable, and that we can continue to do them. And so if everybody votes yes, then we've accomplished the deadline and we prevented 75% pay stop and we move on. Right?
Okay. Okay.
Otherwise, if we do not have agreement, which means
Mm-hmm.
6.5% or above, 6.5 or above to
Yeah.
move forward with the deadlines, then we are required to change them
Yeah.
in order to get off 75% pay stop,
Okay.
right? So then we change the deadlines to get agreement. If there is not agreement on either approving the deadlines or changing them, and someone wants to block the deadlines, right,
We
and say,
still
I do not agree to these deadlines, I do not want to continue with these deadlines, then we stay on 75%
yeah.
until we 75% pay stop until we get agreement.
Mm-mm.
So the incentive for the team to find agreement is that you don't get paid to argue. You get paid to find agreement and make solutions. That make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Okay.
it's also very empowering that with a single vote we can just stop all the deadlines for a specific frequency. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go. Any other questions? Did I answer your question, Joyce?
Yeah.
Mm.
But what we can't do, like let's say everybody wanted to get rid of all the deadlines, the proposal would be, okay, we do not agree with the current deadlines, and to change them, we want to get rid of all monthly deadlines. And then as long as there's consensus and everybody agrees to get rid of all monthly deadlines, then we would no longer be on 75% pay stop. But if we do not have agreement on removing all deadlines for the month, then we would still be on 75% pay stop until a compromise can be reached and we can get agreement.
Yeah. There,
Right?
there need to be an agreement.
Yeah, everything's based on agreement.
Time for breath. Please stop and get ready. Now inhale. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3. Pause. Inhale together. 1, 2, 3. Exhale, relax.
All right, so step 0. What is step 0?
Set up.
Yes, great. All right, so then step 1 is going to be, you know, I don't know if verifying is the right word, but basically just what's the right word?
Identify.
No, it's like I guess we can use verification, just we could call it like a double check, let's just call it a double check, okay? So the double check is basically going to be, looking at all deadlines and making sure that the deadlines updating was done correctly, and that all deadlines are included in the deadlines by frequency spreadsheet. Okay, so basically step 1 should take no time if the deadlines updating was done properly. If the deadlines updating was done properly, then all the deadlines are already perfectly updated and are correct. Otherwise, we need to first update the deadlines. Otherwise, we can't even evaluate the deadlines if we don't even know what the deadlines are. Right? That makes sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Step 2. So then step 2 is going to be, you could call it ranking, but I think it's basically um, priority, right? Prioritize, right? So we're going to be listing all frequencies of deadlines and then announcing to the team. Well, let's just let's do proposal, right? No, options. So options. We'll call it options. So listing all frequencies and deadlines. Deadlines.
Mhm.
Frequency of deadlines and preparing a team message to initiate prioritization, right? So then you do team prioritization. So this is the and for me, this is the most important part is the team prioritization. So then you send to the team
Time to pause.
the
Please
ability
stop.
to vote
Close
on
your
That
eyes.
was
all.
Count
very good.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
Double check, looking at all deadline and making sure that was done correctly and all deadline included in deadline expenses
Okay, so the
spreadsheet.
team prioritization is the most important
Mm,
part because this is where all the empowerment happens to the team.
mm,
So you know the list of all of the different frequencies, right? There's
Yeah,
one-time
monthly.
deadlines, there's weekly deadlines, there's monthly deadlines, there's yearly deadlines, there's quarterly deadlines. So you have all these different frequency of deadlines, right?
Mhm.
yeah.
And so the team prioritization gets to take all of these frequencies and prioritize which ones are the worst, right? Where is the
Okay.
problem, right? Where is the worst deadlines, or what are the ones that need to be reviewed the most? Because we're only required to review one single set of deadlines, right?
One.
One frequency.
Um,
After we review one frequency, which is the prioritization, so whatever you prioritize, we would agree that this is the frequency we're going to be required to review. Anything after that is just extra. If we want to spend extra time reviewing additional frequencies, we can, but the key is to first get agreement on what the top priority is. Okay, does that make
Yes.
sense?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
that's what we want to do now. That's basically, well, the first thing is making sure all of the deadlines are actually correct. Then we're going to create the voting spreadsheet and with the list of all the deadlines, and then we can start voting, and we can do that right now. It's very simple. And then
okay.
3, team prioritization, right? So then 4, we get basically, single frequency. So you're going to review all deadlines within the single frequency that has been prioritized by the team. And then there's going to be basically an up or down vote, right? So up or down vote to either one, agree to existing deadlines, 2, to change the deadlines, or 3, to block the deadline. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
one of those 3 decisions has to be
Up or
made.
down vote to either
And
agree to existing deadline. Deadline.
Okay.
so then we could say optional. So optional communications, discussion, planning, coordination,
Time to take a
additional
break. Please
frequencies,
stop. Write down
and
whatever
then
you
we can
were
wrap
about
up.
to say and take a break for 6 minutes.
So step 6 would be like anything else, improve that we want to do for our deadlines updating, and then we want
Okay.
to, and then obviously we have the wrap up. Yeah. Okay. So that's the responsibility steps
Mhm.
as far as I can think of them. Does that look pretty good or what?
Mm,
Yes, okay.
yeah, deadline review by frequency. It's okay. half of
So the listing
review
of
of
all frequencies of deadlines is basically the whole spreadsheet, right?
No. So it's just like
okay.
you're asking that. That's like really easy to do. I can just do that right now. So we go to our notes. I would go in here, and this would be the list of frequencies. Or no,
This
yeah,
of
these
this
deadlines,
thing.
right? So I'm on line 32. The list of frequencies of deadline. This would be the frequency, and this would
Review
be
deadline with me.
yeah, this would be the frequency, right? So it would be one-time deadlines, weekly deadlines,
Okay, okay.
fortnight deadlines, 3-week deadlines, 3-week. Um,
Monthly.
actually, yeah, we'll just say 21 days, right? 21 days, 3 weeks, 3 weeks. Then yeah, then you have monthly deadlines.
Yearly.
I think we have quarterly deadlines, half-year
Yeah,
deadlines, uh, annual,
yearly.
yearly. Then you have maybe 2 year, 2
2 years,
year, 5
5 years.
year, 10 year, right? So there's just all these different deadlines based on. I don't think we actually have 5 and 10 year deadlines because I think in our bills we do have 5 and 10 year bills, but they're not really deadlines because we do all our bills quarterly. So
The
I don't know
five
how,
years. 5 years are the FBNs,
Um,
right?
but I think those might be bills. I don't. Yeah, maybe 5 year deadlines. We have 5 year deadlines. So, anyways, then we would put our names. You say Jay, Lucy, um, Joyce, Sandy,
Okay.
Jomo, okay, right? And then we would all vote on it and say, okay, this is the deadlines. Like, there is like 100 monthly deadlines. Like, why do we have so many monthly deadlines? So you be voting. Like, the question is really important. So the question would be, which frequency of deadlines do you feel need the most review and reconsideration? So another way to put it is like, which frequency um, has too many deadlines and is not uh, feasible to complete, right? By the team, right?
yes.
Yes.
You could go the other way around. So we want the question
Oh,
to be opposite. So this would be a negative question, but we want the
Mhm.
question to be a positive question. It could be like, do you feel that the deadlines within each
it's
frequency
basic of deadline to
are correct and
yes,
able to be completed by the team
yes.
uh,
There are so many that are involved figure
um,
of
or with recruitment, right? So the question is, do you feel like the deadlines for each frequency can be completed by a functional team, right?
and
A functional team or with recruitment. So that means that basically, are the deadlines correct for the organization, right?
okay,
So are the deadlines correct for the organization? So that way it would be a positive question. And if so a 7 to 9 would equal yes, the deadlines look um, achievable and correct, right?
Mhm.
So then the priority would be the lowest, right? So if we go with option 2 on line 32, so question 2, then everybody will be ranking the deadlines that are the best in the frequency, the highest, and then we would rank it to be the lowest. So whatever got the least amount of support would be our priority for review, right?
okay,
So what
okay,
direction do you think we should do, option 1 or option 2? Because option 1 would mean whatever has the highest number would be
okay,
reviewed, but that's kind of like an opposite question. So typically 7 through 9 is a positive yes, we support
okay.
um, the thing. So I think based on our normal voting, that option 2 would make the most sense. What do you think? So for example, in option 1, I might say, okay, monthly deadlines are a disaster, way too many monthly deadlines. I want to review them, so I would put 7, or 7.5 for monthly deadlines. Whereas for option 2, I would be like, I do not agree with the monthly deadlines. I'm giving the monthly deadlines a 2, and so option 2, monthly deadlines would be a 2, which would be reviewed first because it's lowest, has the least support. So whatever gets the least support.
Time to start. Please get focused on the session.
So with option 2, whatever gets the least support is priority for review. Whereas option 1, whatever gets the most support be reviewed. So I would go with option 2 myself.
For me, I prefer option 1.
Option 1.
How about you,
Option.
Sandra? Just we can see.
Um,
Let me see. We can see American Eagle.
if it is that it's, I'll still go by option one. Um,
Yeah, so I'm definitely voting for option 2. So let's say like after we're reviewing the
let us
proposal,
look at it. Oh God.
so whatever we decide to review, the question would be, is this frequency, for example, monthly, right? Monthly deadlines, correct and achievable for the organization with a functional team and for recruitment, right? So for me, the question during the review, which we need to agree on, make sure it's clear, it's all the power is in the question, right? Like you can always frame a question to be, easily answered a certain way or another. So it's very important the question needs to be neutral, right? That's part of our policies and foundational values and model, right? Is that we want neutral questions, right? So we want the questions to be very neutral, and we want it to
Okay.
not be confusing. So the problem I have with option 1 is that in the list of frequency deadlines in the initial voting, you'd be voting opposite of the second vote, right? Because the second vote, when you're reviewing, the question is, do we all agree to the deadlines as presented, right? Or as changed? And the goal is to get 6.5 or above. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So my concern is that the initial vote would be opposite, because the goal is to get 6.5 or above to get support and get consensus on the deadline, right? So if the initial vote is opposite that, I feel like that creates a lot of confusion. So I'm definitely going for option 2. I would say a 7.5, and then for me, option 1, I am a 3. So definitely, I'm a no on option 1 because it would confuse everybody's voting, because everybody would have to vote opposite to get consensus to move forward from their initial vote. Because you'd be voting a 7 for monthly deadlines, but then you wouldn't agree with the monthly deadline. So instead of voting a 7, when we get to actually approving the deadlines, you'd be voting a 2. And it wouldn't make any sense. So the first time you'd vote 7 for the monthly deadlines, and then the second time you voted 2 for the monthly deadlines.
2, 3, 4, 5.
It doesn't make
Open
any
your
sense.
eyes.
Did you see what I'm saying?
Mm,
I feel it really. Yeah, okay.
We're out of time. I think we're about out of time here. So anyways, I would say that we definitely would be voting for option 2. Do you feel that the deadlines within each frequency are correct and able to be completed? And then once we go into the review would be, is this frequency of monthly deadlines correct and achievable for the organization with a functional team and a recruitment? So in that context, they're both positive questions. And the goal is always to get consensus on the deadlines, not to vote to attack the deadlines, right? So if you want to attack the deadlines, your score should be very low. So if you do not like the deadlines, your score should be a 1, 2, or 3. And if you like the deadlines, your score should be a 7, 8, or 9.
So the lowest will be the one to be reviewed, correct?
Exactly. Right? So the
Okay.
outcome of the initial vote would be whatever gets the lowest score. So lowest score is priority to review. Right?
Okay. Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah. And that would be step 2.
Okay.
Right? Yeah.
oh, okay.
So the lowest score
That's,
is always the highest to review frequency with
mm, Lowest score is priority to review.
The ability to vote on all frequencies.
All right,
So
so we're
how
out of
about
time. We also need to take a break. I think it's actually we have 1 hour until Cobalt. So we need to wrap
yes,
up.
and we have one wait, what time? 1 minute. Yeah, we are on time actually. We're on time. Yeah, we are on time. Okay, so so do we want to continue, Jay, or you want to stop now?
I mean, I'd be willing to do like another like, 6 to 12 minutes, but I think it might make most sense just to stop. I think we know how to do the responsibility. It's not particularly difficult. This is 75% pay stop. Our priority should be on 100% pay stop. In fact, we could even say we should be doing policy tracking because we're not focusing on 100% pay stop right now. But I understand this is 75%. It's not, and it's very important because we're having problems with our deadlines. So the next step obviously is just reviewing the deadlines by frequency spreadsheet and seeing whether or not the
Time for
deadlines have been
breath.
updated properly.
Please stop and get ready. Now inhale. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3. Pause. Inhale together. 1, 2, 3. Exhale, relax.
Isn't it option step 2 and 3 are the same? Is it the same?
No, step 2 is to prepare the options and prepare the message and communication team.
Okay. Okay,
This
what's the
is
step?
preparation, and it should get to review and verify with teammate slash executive. So before moving on, you need to get it reviewed before sending
Do
it to the
you
team.
feel that the deadline with
Send to
speed
the team. Which
is
one?
correct
The,
and everything going
Option 3 is where step 3 is
until
where you send to the
the
team. So
deadline
for
until
step
the
0, 1, and
deadline.
2,
yeah.
you need to not
7
do
to
more
9
but you check in with the team and check in with me for review.
a.m.
So review with
So
the
you
team,
require
email
the
Wait,
team to
Sandra.
vote.
Sandra, I cannot hear
an
Jay.
email to the team. So can you see the responsibility training?
Yeah, I can see.
Yeah.
Do you see the responsibility training? Are you in do you see step 2
Yeah,
on
step
line
2.
62? Line 62, right? So
Line
send out
62.
and give up to async or do during a main session. So we can do this asynchronously over Discord, but we can also do just a main session. So we're proposing having a main session
Okay.
tomorrow.
Okay.
So we're proposing an emergency main session tomorrow for AGC team. And if we do a main session tomorrow, we can address this during the main session.
Okay, Jay. So now option 2 is the preparation only, and then number 3 is the sending out.
Step 2 is the preparation of
Yeah.
getting all the voting prepared, making sure that the messaging and the communication, the questions, everything's ready to go to the
Yeah.
team. Then
Yes.
step 3 is actually voting.
Sending out. Okay. Okay.
Yep.
Thanks. Give up to 20 hours
Okay,
to
Jay.
vote.
Let's prepare for our call out. Let's go to wrap up, shall we?
Great. Okay, cool. Yeah, wrap up.
Okay.
Oh,
Let's go.
Um,
So,
so Sandy, do you have a minute? We're doing wrap up now. Are you ready to? Are there any last questions before we go to wrap up?
no.
Time. Pause. Please stop. Close your eyes. Count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
Okay, so I do want to answer Sandy's question here from Discord. So you had a question regarding um,
Oh, yes. I said I do not understand what you meant.
so I mean my main question is like do you get paid for your other hospital?
Yeah, we get compensation rather. Uh,
Did that make sense, Joyce, to you?
Are you getting paid? Jay is asking.
yes, I have answered. I said it's a volunteer work, but we get compensation rather. Maybe I should type.
Well, is compensation include a budget with a pay rate or not? Is it different type of compensation? There's lots of different things that people get for compensation or value.
There's no specific pay rate. Yeah, we get
So
covered
how much are
for
you? Yeah.
what?
So how are you getting paid based on what? Like allowance only?
Yes, like allowance for transportation, wardrobe, and
Like
the rest.
reimbursement. So you get like reimbursement and stuff.
Yes, something
Okay,
like that. We get monthly allowance as to wardrobe, transport, and feeding.
great. All right,
Your
cool.
food.
So yeah. So bottom line, we can't talk about this now, but let's prioritize it for a future session. Right? Within FQN, we have two very, very specific policies, right? For this. One, if you are working additional work and jobs, we cover additional overtime. So you can actually track your other work in your value for overtime over 30 hours a week, right? Secondly, we also support community work, right? So if you're volunteering and supporting healthcare, we actually can consider some of that value in your FQN work for your local support of your community. And so we can discuss that as actual part of your paid work, and we can actually apply some of your local community volunteering and work to your paid work as an FQN worker. So we can talk about both of those things because it's very important. You know, the work that you're doing is
Time to
there's no
stretch.
difference. Is like
Please
basically what we're saying,
stop,
right?
stand up, and stretch and move around for 30 seconds.
Anyways, we don't need to talk about that now, but we should definitely bring it up in the future because we want to support you to support to help your community. You know.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a good thing you're doing, Sandra.
Yeah.
Right, Jay? It's good.
Yes, definitely.
Oh,
And
okay.
eventually, once we get functional, everybody will be required to do local community work. Right. That's
Wow.
always that'll eventually be the goal for FQN. Like once we have it's like a basic level of functionality and like a semi-stable budget. You know, for example,
Okay.
we work on the computer for 4 days a week, and then for 2 days a week on Fridays and Saturdays we are required to go out to our communities and help our communities. Like that's what we want to eventually do, is that basically
Okay.
computer FUN work is 4 days a week or 3 days a week, and then local work where we work with our communities is 2 or 3 days a week, right? So that's, or at least one day a week. Like we can start with one day a week where we go out and we support our local communities, and we will get paid to do that, right? So what I'm saying is that for um for Sandra, she already has that, right? She's already
Yeah.
working in support. She's a community leader. That's exactly what FQN is all about, and our life support program. It's about supporting local community leaders who are supporting their community, and that's exactly what Sandra is doing as a volunteer working at a local hospital. Okay,
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
so we'll address that more in the future, but we want to support you, Sandra, in doing the work that you're already doing, as well as helping support us doing more work with FQN. Okay,
How about church
Okay.
work, Jay? Church work.
church work is in and of itself not qualified as social support and organizing, but there could be a program within the church that is
Yeah.
specific to helping the community, and
Yeah.
that program could definitely count. Absolutely, yeah. So,
Yes.
so
Like for
it
example,
doesn't
Jay.
matter. It doesn't matter who the organization is. It can be a church, but obviously the majority of church activities don't qualify under social community support. Yeah.
Yeah. For example, Jay,
Okay.
I'm giving the 10% to the church every time.
Yeah, but
I
that's
give.
not actual work. Like I'm talking about local physical community work. Like for example, we paid people um in like we had workers who were in Mexico City, right? And there was an earthquake in Mexico City and there was like emergency disaster relief. And we actually allowed workers to track their time doing emergency disaster relief for their communities and they get paid for that
Time to
through
pause.
FQN.
Please stop.
Okay.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Count 1,
Yeah, but
2,
Yeah.
4, 5. Open your eyes.
the 10% I'm giving is for their community work. Isn't that the accounted? Like
Yeah, but you're just
like free
paying
medical
nothing. Yeah.
mission, medical
Yeah, but
missions.
you're just paying somebody else to do that work. What I'm saying is
Okay.
that if you actually go out and do the work, we could pay you to do that work for so
Okay.
many
Okay.
hours per week. Yeah. That
Oh,
makes sense?
yes.
Like so for example, if you were gonna go help cook food to feed the homeless, or you were gonna go out and help your community build houses for low
Okay.
income residents, or you were gonna go out and protest or try to change the law or do something in your local community
Okay.
that is taking on a leadership role, right? That's what we want our FQN workers to be
Okay.
doing.
Oh, okay. I understand.
Yeah. Anyways, we can talk about that all later. Right now, let's get functional. Let's get off of our pay stop
Okay.
and let's do our income review. So I also missed Hydra, so I also need to do my Hydra. I'm not sure exactly what I think on Hydra we did taxes. Taxes. And I probably spent like an hour. And this is Texas. Okay, so did anyone track this? No. All right, so now we are in Andromeda, and let's let Lucy at Lucy and Jomo.
Jomo. What are they doing?
We are wrapping. They're working on the WCDC tax amendment.
Ah,
Yeah, we are wrapping up and taking break until. So lots going on here for Andromeda. So we have wrap up, setup, view up, wrap up. And this is the line.
46, I think. That's right.
Yeah, line 46. 46. Sandra, Joyce, Lucy. Okay, so I did onboarding, and so that was like an hour and a half, so 1.5 hours onboarding.
Time for breath. Please stop and get
The
ready.
total
Now
time
inhale. 1,
was
2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2,
2.5
3.
hours.
Pause. Inhale together. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. Relax.
Then we worked on deadlines for you, which is we did like a 1.5 hours. I did a half hour on it, and then I did 0.25. That worked. 2.5. So let's say
How much
0.75.
time did they do Hydra? Hydra.
So Jomo did. So this is line 46. I forgot to write line 46. You said it. You still have to write it. I'm writing it for you.
I'm sorry. Onboarding deadlines review. Where is it?
So
Deadlines review.
on
Deadlines review.
board.
Deadlines review. Where's deadlines review?
So for him, that would be line 32.
Deadlines review. Where's deadlines? There's no deadlines review, only deadlines updating.
Yeah, let's just put it under deadlines
Jay?
updated. And we'll have to add deadlines review because I don't think that one exists.
For now, okay.
Yeah, I mean, maybe make it deadlines
And
review and updating. Let me see.
deadlines.
Because it's basically the same thing, right?
Okay. So line 101. Line 101. Okay, next. Onboarding access plan.
I mean, I would make it the
What
same
line is
thing.
access?
I would say deadlines,
Same thing.
updating, and review is the same thing, right?
Okay. Access plan. Access. Access plan is line 137. And then, what's this? Onboarding. What line is onboarding?
Line 72.
Two.
Okay.
72.
And then joining the
Stage
team
5.
is line
Stage
32.
5,
Yeah, line
32.
32.
Time to pause. Please stop.
So
Close your eyes.
1,
Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
onboarding 0. Database. How many are we in deadline?
Mm.
1 hour. 1.25. How much hour did we do? Deadline, Sandra? Is it 125? So Namesh got her access, J.
Yeah, it worked.
Okay. I will try also mine later because I have
Yeah, we need
VPN
to
now. I
update,
think that's
if we
the
need to
problem.
update the P code and everything, we can. But Lucy just had an issue with the P code because she was trying to enter the P code instead of the password. And she didn't understand the difference between a P code and a password.
Oh, okay. Okay. I will try later on.
All right. Any last questions for me? Otherwise, I'm going to do my hyper evaluation and then I'm going to take off. Take a break.
Yeah, the one we will do for the space stop this updating J is to make sure that the deadlines are correct, right? The deadlines for every frequency is there and correct, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And the
Okay.
deadlines I'm most worried about myself is the one-time deadlines.
A one-time deadline. Okay. One-time.
So I feel like we do have some one-time deadlines that we don't really think about, and they're just not
Okay.
organized, as an actual frequency. So those I'm a little worried about. I don't know if some of the other deadlines are not updated properly or not, but either way, we've done a pretty good job of organizing all of the deadlines by frequency. So I mean, it shouldn't take very long, you know.
Okay.
So it's just a quick review. Everything looks okay. We can just go ahead and start voting. And then we can either do that asynchronously or we can just do it at the main session tomorrow.
Okay, tomorrow.
So
Time to take a
yeah,
break.
and we should
Please
also
stop.
remind the team,
Write
it
down
looks like
whatever
everybody
you
has
are about
agreement.
to say and take a break for 6 minutes.
So if you want to make sure everyone votes on the proposal, then we can go ahead and remind the team that we have an emergency AGC meeting tomorrow at
Okay.
Andromeda
I
Elevator.
will remind again.
Oh,
Cool.
okay.
All right.
Weekly.
I'll talk to you later.
Okay, thank you, Jay.
All right.
Thank
Ciao.
you.
Sure.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, Sandra, let's go. Let's meet later.
Oh.
Okay, bye. Thank you. You remind the
Bye.
team? Just reply
Bye.
to you want to remind the team? Just reply to
So,
Namesh message that team we have
okay.
an emergency main session AJC main session tomorrow blah blah blah. Just repeat
Okay.
what Namesh said.
Okay. We are having a, okay. On activity team
Emergency no in core team. Core
for
team.
team. Okay. I just I'll just paste it where?
Just say
Where should I,
just see Namesh message about
and where
the
should I
the
send it?
the agency what's that called? I think he put it
Um,
she put it in core team or AGC. I don't know where she put. No, activity. She put in activity. Just put it in the core team again. Here, you
okay.
look at my here. Worker proposal to call for emergency AGC main session. Uh, yeah, and we voted, and you did not vote yet. I think. Did you
Hmm.
see it
Uh, Say that again, please.
in the activity? Wait, I will share my screen.
I did not see where Namesh put it.